Drop a like and do share. Leave your comments and do not forget to subscribe for more videos.
Hello and welcome to Edupedia World.
Welcome to SAP UI5 training session. In this session, we'll see MVC architecture. So M means model, V means view, and C means controller. So this is how the flow is, the architecture of model, view, and controller. So once we start with view, view means what we see in basic words. Controller means how we control the application, and then model means it is a data. We can think about database operations. To our application, we need some data which we need to display. So that will come from model. And how it will come, the calls and everything we make to model, it will be from the controller. So basically view is what we see. Suppose if we take a facebook.com. In this facebook.com, we have a username and a password. So in this username, we'll write your correct username. Then you write your password, correct username. When you click on login, then it will go to controller. Controller will check from the server whether the user is valid or not. Then the controller will get a response from the model saying that notification, yes, the user is correct and you can give permission to access the website. So authorization will be done and the authentication will be true because you are existing user and you are a correct user. So the controller will be updating the user, yes, you can access this website. Then the user will be seeing the page. This is how the model, view, controller flows. So here user will make an action. That action will be going to the model and it will be updated. So how it is for the updates, you will be updating your profile pic in Facebook. So user will make an action, the controller will receive the picture, whatever the photo you are uploading, then it will be updating in a server through a model, and then you'll get a notification, yes, successfully uploaded, and the user will see the updates. So I think you got the basic picture of controller, views and models with an example. Now we'll see how this is for SAP UI5 application. So when we talk about SAP UI5 applications, we have views, models and controllers. So when we talk about views, in the previous session we have seen first.view.js, first.controller.js. So that means view.js is view, controller.js is controller, but model will be discussing when the model concept is discussed. So models are nothing but there are JSON model, XML model and OData model. So whatever we talk about, whenever we talk about JSON and XML, those are static. Static means it can be used locally. OData is a remote call. So that will be discussed when OData concept is discussed. So basically think there are three models: JSON, XML and OData. And when we talk about views, we have HTML view, JS view, JSON view and XML view. And when we talk about controllers, controller was always JavaScript, it's JS. So views can be defined using XML with HTML mixed or standalone. Means you can use in XML view, you can use JS view. In JS view, you can use HTML view also. That is what we can do. So we'll see the examples, how it can be done later in the class. So these are the views basically. And the controllers. Controllers are to be a view specific. A view can have one controller. A view can have one controller. But a controller can hold multiple views. Suppose you have created a first view and you have created a second view and you have created a third view, and first view controller is first controller, second view controller is second view controller, and third view controller is third view controller. So these are, each view has each controller. This is one way of doing. But the other way of doing is, if possible, suppose if you want to handle two views in one controller, then you can club first and second together, and in the first you can give first controller, and in the second view you can give first controller. When we give names, when we talk about view names here, when we talk about first controller, so this is the first controller name. So when we see the view, here we declare the view. In this view we'll be declaring controller name. So in this controller we have given SAP UI app2.first. So in the second controller, whenever we create, that time also we can give the same name here. You don't have to give SAP UI app2.second. You don't have to do it. So we can give the first. So the first controller only will be controlling this view. Both views, first and second view, can be used by multiple views. One controller can be used by multiple views. So model is used for data binding. So we have to bind the data. When you log in into the Facebook, your profile information, whatever it is, it will be binded from the model. Your first name, last name, your email address, where do you stay, hometown, etc. That will come from the model, and that will be binded in views, because that information you will be seeing. So when it comes to SAP UI5, it will be O model, JSON, XML or OData. We'll move on to the next. So this is what a basic view and controller, and we'll be seeing that now. So we'll create one view and controller, and how this works we'll be seeing. First, what we'll be doing is, in this exercise we'll be adding a method say hello to the controller, which shows a pop-up saying hello world, and we'll let the button call the method sapui.commons.messagebox.show, and then we'll extend the button definition by press controller say hello. So it will be calling the say hello method, and then what we're gonna do is we'll create a new view XML in the training, right click folder, and how to do it I'll be telling you, and we'll add a panel with the button inside this view, and we'll say hello world, and add the same hello world in the XML controller, and add the new worksheet items, and create a view assigned to m.xml. So this is what we have. Before going into this example, we'll see each view how it behaves. So first, in MVC we are now discussing views. There are 4 types of views, as we already discussed: HTML, JS, XML and JSON. So first we'll be seeing JS view. JS view is nothing but JavaScript view. In this we'll have all JavaScript based notations. So whatever we write, it will be JavaScript variables, JavaScript functions, everything in the view will be JavaScript. So first, we already created a first controller.js. In this app index.html, we'll be going to ID first. Now it will be initiating first.js. So in this we'll be going first view.js. When we go, we have in this create control, we'll be creating a button. And I already have the code, so I'm just copy pasting it. Yeah, this is the one. Where button, new sapui.commons button, and the text is hello JS view, and the button is attaching a press event, and in this press event we are calling oController dot handle button clicked. So whenever we say oController will be referring to this controller. So that handle button clicked. So when we say handle button clicked, so it will go to this controller and we'll check handle button clicked. So it is not there right now, so we'll be copying this control and we'll be pasting it in the down always, and we'll be tagging function. And whenever we have button click or any on click functions events, that time the function will not be empty, we'll be having some O event. like this. Why? I'll tell you. Because there will be a problem with fetching the ID. This function will be a private function. This function will be a private function, and this function will access only that on click event. That's it. So if you want to access the page view or some other control on this button click, that time it will be very difficult if you won't write anything over here. So in this event only we can go parent, 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 and we'll fetch that property. So live example I'll be giving in future, but it's always, as of now, you think O event is written when we have any press events, click events, etc. So whenever we talk about events, that time O event should be there. O event or any name you can give. So inside you can access that. That's how we have done it for the O controller here. O controller, and O controller will refer to this controller and handle button pressed. So always when we have functions, it's always good to have a private function. So in this private function, underscore is a private function, and I'll be saying alert, yeah, button pressed, and we'll go to view, and we are returning a button. And before this, we have to make sure sap.ui.commons is included in our index.html. It is not included, so we'll include it. So we'll save this and we'll run our application once again, and there should be a button. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, in this view. Yeah, so here is a button. Once we click on this button, the button pressed has been triggered. So like this the JS view is. Now we will be going to another view, that is XML view. How to create an XML view inside this particular folder? You can go right click this folder, and then you can click on new, and then you have to select the file, and you can write it here, the first view.xml, if you want to have XML. So you can finish this. Yeah, this is how XML view. So how XML view is, I'm creating a button. So yeah, this is what XML view, I'm saving it. So MVC we have to include it here. MVC, we have to include MVC. So there is an error, have you seen? So how to include the namespace XML ns colon MVC. You can include like this. See, now the error will go. See, the error went off. Yeah, this is how you start XML page. So XML page will always start with MVC and colon view, capital V, view, and we have to declare a controller name. Now the controller name for you will be the first controller. So the first controller name is, yeah, so we can give the first controller name here, and this is what your controller name, and SAPUI5 app2.first is a controller name. Next, XML ns, it is namespace. So we are including the namespaces. In XML we always include namespace MVC, so that you can use MVC colon view. So MVC means sap.ui.co.mvc.view. You have seen this before in this view.js index. See, sap.ui.co.view type is JS. That's the reason. So you are including the view. So like that. So MVC contains view type. So that is the reason we are including like this. So you can use MVC as a namespace anywhere. So next, when you don't include anything like this colon MVC colon M or colon core, then whenever you say, it will be by default. By default, it will be using sap.ui.commons. So even when we say image button, you don't have to specify commons colon image. You don't have to specify that. So by default, it will take sap.ui.commons.image. And next is XML, another namespace is core, SAPUI.core. And next is we'll be writing the information, the panel. So panel we have given and ended. Always when you start, you have to close it. MVC open and close. And now image. So other way of closing is just slash. So image src. In this src, you have to give a URL. An URL which consists an image. And then I am placing a button, text, press me. So we'll save this, and once we execute this, it will not come. Why? Because index.html, we are saying search for JS view. Now here we have to change it to XML, and now we'll be seeing the changes. We'll refresh it. Yeah, see, press me. SAP, press me. We don't have included any event, image, and this is how it comes. So I'll be changing it to HTML now here, and we'll see the behavior. So we'll go here and refresh it once. HTML, let's see it is synchronized or not. Yeah, it is synchronized. HTML view we have changed, and yeah, see, nothing is displayed. So we'll press F12. F12 is for your console. So whatever errors it comes, so it will be, see, it says failed to load resources, means it is not able to find what it is not able to find, first.view.html. But we are trying to achieve first.xml, right? View.xml. So it is going to this particular resource and finding this path. So it is not able to find it. So file is not found. So it is checking for HTML page. Okay. So this is what you will be getting error whenever. So we'll be having a HTML now. So we'll include HTML page now. Right click, new, file, first.view.html, and I'm saving this, finish. And in this it is empty. I'll add my logic here. So there's a template. Always HTML page starts with a template. So template data controller -name. You have to give a controller name here. So what is our controller name is the first controller we will be going to use, because we don't want to change every time the controller, because we are not operating that much. So first view done. And in this view, I'm going to take a button and say hello. Hello will be displayed on the top, and h1 is the title, and div is embedded HTML. It's normally the name comes, that's it. So you don't have to worry about. I'll be telling you how it appears. So next, you have taken a class test3. That the class is not there. Usually the classes are declared like this. So basically, remember, HTML will start. HTML view.sap view in HTML will start like this. It starts with template, and always the properties will be data hyphen so and so controller. Now I am declaring the controller name. As it is in data hyphen controller slash name, and then everything will be in divisions. So first div, I'm placing a panel, and in the second div, I'm placing a button, and I'm declaring a do it press method. So do it press method should be there. So I have already included one press event here. I'll be placing it there in my view. You know the panel properties. So whenever we declare any library, it should be a data hyphen SAPUI type. Here you are declaring that this division will be the type of this control. Which control it is? We are declaring SAPUI commons dot panel, and we are giving ID to it. ID as my panel, and the next div comes with a class. So we are not using any class, so we can get rid of this class. So I have placed just because if you have any CSS, then at that time you can make use of that. And then it is SAP UI Commons dot button. So ID equal to button 1, and the data hyphen text will be hello world and data press like this. And the next button I'm placing, it's a hello. Similarly, so data hyphen text is a property, text property, and it contains hello, and press event is data hyphen press like this. So we'll see how it works. So we'll refresh. Now those errors will go and see. Now title, embedded, hello world, hello. So when you press hello, button pressed, and when you say hello, then nothing is happening. So we can minimize this, maximize this. So this is how it is. So hello, this is what the title, whatever we give here, it comes straight away, hello. And next is h1 title. So h1 has a header 1 means it has a font size and it will display the title. And then embedded HTML, whatever you write in the div, it will directly display if it is a text. And then we have another division, and divisions are always vertical. So first panel comes, there is a panel, and in this panel we are placing a content because we haven't closed the panel over here. If you close the panel over here, we'll see how it is. So first panel comes, the panel doesn't have any data, and then hello button and everything will be placed. See, I'm refreshing, guys. See, the panel, if you increase or decrease, the hello buttons are below it. Okay, so if you want to place these buttons inside this panel and before closing it, I'm reverting the changes. Yeah, so inside this button, inside this panel, the button will be placed. So we'll refresh once again and we'll check the changes. And in this HTML, if you want to call any XML view, so how to do it? Well, see that now. So in this view, it is sap.first, calling a view inside a view. So in this HTML view, I am calling a XML view. How to do it? This is the way. So first we have to declare the type, SAP type, that is XML view. How to declare? Data hyphen SAP hyphen UI hyphen type. So in this type, you have to declare sap.ui.core.mvc.xml view. Once you have declared this, then you have to give an ID. IDs are always important, but whenever it is required, you have to add IDs. If not, better not to use IDs, because sometimes you will be using the same ID somewhere else, then that it will be duplicated. I'll tell you an example for the IDs, the better way. There's a dialog box you want to open. On a click on a button, there's a button. On click on that button, you'll open a dialog box every time. So whenever you click on the button, the dialog box has an ID, right? So once you click on that, the dialog box is initiated. That time the ID generates and the dialog box generates. And when you close it, dialog box will be closed. Next time when you click on it, again it will call to that particular dialog box, and the view and the ID is already existing. So it will throw an error saying that it is a duplicate ID. So to reduce such type of errors, there is a way of handling that also. We'll be discussing when we talk about dialog box. So this is how IDs are important. You have to make sure IDs are used whenever is required, not all the time. And there's a reason. ID, data view name. So you're saying that view name here. So our view name is SAPUI5 app2.first. So it will go to SAPUI5 app2.first.xml. So we'll save this and we'll see the result. See, in our XML view, we have a panel and this, right? So these are all coming up. So inside this panel we have two. Have you seen it? This is an XML view. So similarly, you can call other views like this. So JSON view you can call like this, and you have to give the name. That's it. View and name, and view and name. That is how it is. So this is HTML view, and the next view we'll be discussing is JSON view. I'm trying to close all. I'll start with a JSON view. How the JSON view will be: right click, new, a file, and then you'll be giving first dot view dot JSON, and you'll say finish. So once you click on finish, it will be finished. So once it's finished, we have to write the JSON code. So JSON code is here. So JSON is always key and pair values. So it always starts with key and value, key and value, key and value. So first, whenever we start with JSON, it always starts with their objects inside it. So it will be starting with flower braces, and then it will be using a type, and then type is nothing but your JSON view. It has to be a JSON view. So how to declare that? sap.ui.code.mvc.json view. This is a type. You are declaring the type of this JSON view. And then controller name. So our controller name is first controller. So the first controller name has SAPUI app2.first. So we'll be placing this over here. So we'll save it, and then we have declared the controller name. Then our next is content. What is the content inside this? So we'll be seeing the content, the type. We are saying taking an image, SAPUI commons dot image. So this sap.ui.commons is mentioned inside this HTML page. Let us check. So when you double click it, the index.html will come, and here it is, libraries. Yes, it is included. So we have to go to this SAPUI commons, and then we are giving an ID. ID is always like this, and the source is you are giving a logo, and then next content. This is a content, the one content, and then the second content is the button, my button, press me. So I'm trying to save this. So this is a type, ID, and text. This is the properties. So you directly give the name of the property and value straight away, and it always starts with comments. So we'll be going to the index.html, and we have to change the view. So we'll be changing here to HTML to JSON, and we'll be saving it. So once you save this, it should reflect. So we'll go to the view, and we'll be refreshing it, and it has to come with press me and SAP. Cool. And I'm going to change this JSON view to, I'm removing this image and saving it. I'm having only button now. So the changes we'll see. Refresh. Yeah, only press me. Only press me. Okay. And then on click on this, we have to press an event. Then how to declare that event we will see now. So the press me. Now next, how to declare is, now we have to add a press event, and then we have to declare a private function. The private function is nothing but this one. We already the button JSON press. Yeah, button in JSON view is pressed. So we'll be saving it, and we'll have given the private function name, and then when we go to a first controller, we have the same function, and in this alert we have placed it here. So we'll be refreshing this, and this is going to press me, and when you click on this, the button in JSON view is pressed. Once again you do it, see alert comes. Once more, yeah, button in JSON view is pressed. This is how the JSON view is called. So JSON is always in this format: type, controller name, content, type, etc. It's content closed. So you can add more content. In this way you can add a multiple controls. JSON.
Thank you for watching Edupedia World. Stay tuned for more videos.